B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East coast to the west, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a B-boy, from the old to the new.
Today, we're going dark, actually darker than dark. We're heading to Denver, Colorado to talk to a man whose music has more in common with a horror movie than a rapper on the corner. Born in Russia, owner of Lyrical Snuff Productionz, ladies and gentlemen, the underground legend, Scum. What's up, man?
What up, brother? Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you for the invite and, the open-mindedness in music.
So do you remember the first time you heard hip-hop?
First time I heard hip-hop? Fuck. Had to be, man, it's between like some fucking old, either House of Pain's Jump Around or fucking, what the fuck was that track with Anthrax and fucking
Public Enemy?
Yeah,
Bring the
was
Noise.
that I'm the Man?
Bring the Noise remix.
Okay.
Was Anthrax.
And then there was the joint with Biohazard and fucking Onyx and shit, Slam.
You're right. They did a remix of Slam, right?
So a lot of it, I come from a lot of metal influences. So right. It was those crossover tracks and shit. And then I think as far as like a whole record, I mean, Body Count's Cop Killer, that shit was the fucking truth.
Right, no doubt.
And then from there on and shit, like, some Brother Lynch on Isham. A lot of that dark shit, Gangsta Nip.
So you were born in Russia, correct?
Born and raised. I was there till I was 14.
So what year was that you came over here?
94.
94. So you were getting into hip hop before you made the move.
Right, but we didn't get a lot of hip hop. As far as like the hip hop we got was just Ice Ice Baby and like what I'm saying.
Right.
If it was huge, it would trickle off. But because I was more into the metal scene, the tracks I was hearing was more those collaborative efforts of the crossover tracks where the hip hop artists would do shit with metal bands, and I always loved the sound. I'm like, I couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying. I didn't speak English back then, but I was like, okay, man, that's a cool fucking flow to it.
I'm always curious about other countries as far as, let's say you might not know the answer because you were still pretty young. Let's say an album comes out on January 1st in the US. How long does that take to make its way to a place like Russia before you would have access?
Well, now it's completely different because I mean, back then it was like Soviet Union just fell apart and shit. Like things was weird as far as supply chains. Plus, also, a lot of the things that are available here weren't available there. I mean, like Russia just got Spotify like a year ago or something, but so it was all a lot of pirated music and shit, and there was no telling, man. Like there's a chance that the fucking newest Metallica album came out in Russia a month before it came out in the States because somebody fucking got a hold of the fucking recording early, pressed it, and is selling the fuck out of them out there. Or it could take 3-4 years. It was all based on supply and demand. So like, if motherfuckers was asking for somebody was going to pirate it. It was a very, collectors was the only ones that were able to get licensed products. And, usually it was from friends going overseas and bringing back. And I remember the terminology, and it wasn't even like, oh, this is a bootleg and this is the official release. The official release was like, yo, I got a licensed copy of that shit, because pretty much everything was a bootleg, and usually the bootleg usually had a bonus track or two, which the official release didn't. But if you had the real thing, you were like, man, no, I'm a real fan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
got the real deal. So when you moved here, you mentioned you didn't speak English.
No.
How difficult was that to move to a country completely foreign? Tell me about that move. I know this isn't necessarily hip hop related, but things like that intrigue me. My son-in-law actually is from the Czech Republic, so I ask him these kind of questions too.
Czech Republic has a fucking amazing horrorcore scene and shit. I'm saying, fucking wearing a fucking ZNK hat right now and shit. Shout out to Resnick and them and shit. Fucking definitely fucking got a strong horrorcore scene over there. But I don't know, man. I think like if I was older, it'd be fucking a lot harder because I mean, while it fucked with my head and I'm like, dude, I don't know anybody here and shit. I can't understand these motherfuckers. But as a teenager, you know, you're motivated by things teenagers are motivated by. You
Mhm.
know, I want to get some drink. I want to get some drugs. I want to fuck some bitches. You know what I'm saying? Things
Universal.
that
Yeah.
which motivate and make you, you're like, yo, like I can't get any of that if I don't speak no language.
Right.
And I'm really glad that I went the route of just, you know, sitting there like a dummy, soaking the shit up until I could fucking understand it. Rather than trying to stick, because Denver does have a pretty decent sized Russian community. I mean, there's maybe like 100,000 Russians that live here. So I feel that the cats that stayed in the community, while it was convenient, it's like living in a small village in the fucking middle of a fucking big city where you don't go outside your village borders. You don't fucking really understand the people on the outside. I wanted to do music and shit. Ever since actually I moved to this country, I went to my first show and I was like, man, this is the fucking shit. I want to do this for a living. Well, obviously I ended up becoming a rapper and the first show I went to was Slayer, Biohazard, Machine Head. So
Mhm.
different genre, but
Right.
the energy was like, man, this is fucking amazing and shit. I never been to like any of those types of shows in Russia. A lot of that music was very underground. Where you know we came here and I was like, oh man, this is fucking. I want to do this. You know, Slayer got fucking out inverted crucifixes on fucking fire and
Mhm.
giant fucking explosions and fucking. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. So, um, I didn't start doing rap. I started doing grindcore and shit. I got deep into the Denver grindcore scene and shit, and was fucking with that extreme, still. It's funny, like you know, what I'm saying when people think of grind noise and shit, you know, you got a fucking 30-track album and shit. It's probably 17 minutes long, but the song titles are just as fucked up as the shit that I rap about now.
Mhm.
And then, but it, first off, I suck and I don't play any fucking instruments. I tried the guitar, I was horrible at it and shit. So it was all vocals anyway. Well, screaming and growling is fun, but there's no true shock value other than in the song titles and the merchandise because motherfuckers can't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
To me, like most of those bands don't even have lyrics and shit. It's just patterns of growls. And then like even in death metal where there is lyrics, to me, the super fast chopper rap is very similar to death metal because motherfuckers most of the time can't understand what the fuck is being said. They just like the pattern.
Right. You're right. The
You
same
know,
cadence, the same pattern. Right.
right. The vocal is just another instrument and shit.
Mhm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like it sounds cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. I listen to a lot of foreign rap that I can't understand and shit, but I
Mhm.
love the fucking, if somebody has a good voice and a good delivery and shit, I'm like, yo, I dig it and shit. I hope he's not saying no bullshit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I can fuck with it still. So once my English got better enough and shit to where I felt that I could really offend and hurt some fillers, you know what I'm saying? By that
Right.
time, I did find, you know what I'm saying, like Isham and fucking Brother Lynch Hung and fucking, you know, KGP, Insane Poetry,
Mhm.
Q Strange, you know, started getting into some of what Psychopathic was doing, just a lot of those dark influences. I was like, man, I really want to do some of this shit. And it was still, I didn't think, you know, like we weren't trying to take it too seriously. We were just trying to fucking piss some people off, fucking have some fun with it. I never really even was supposed to run this label and shit. Like my brother Seville co-founded the label with me, and he handled all the business. I was just supposed to rap and fucking do
Mhm.
drugs and party. And when he died, it kind of all fucking landed. And by that time, we had artists signed. You know, we were putting out multiple releases, and it was like either fucking I was just gonna, you know, call everybody and be like, well, so since my man's is dead, everybody's on their own, or I had to fucking, you know, step in and take care of it. And that's what ended up happening. And here we are, like, you know, I think we're at like 110 releases as a label right now,
Nice.
instead 21 years into it.
That's a huge accomplishment. Yeah. Massive accomplishment.
Appreciate it, man. And
So,
it's longevity, fucking against
right.
all odds.
When did you start writing as far as, you know, rap lyrics? When did you make that crossover to
You know,
trying it yourself?
it's funny. I always wrote lyrics and shit because I feel because I was doing grind noise, like, you know, anal cunt type of shit. Um, there was no lyrics, you know, so I always wrote because I liked other subgenres of music, you know, be it metal, be it rap. So I always wrote. And I always like, man, I'm gonna fucking, you know what I'm saying, get into like a death metal band and shit where I can actually sing this shit. But I wrote it more mechanical, like a rap, rather than a lot of death metal lyrics don't particularly rhyme. You know what I'm saying? They're same thing. You have the luxury because you are growling and shit to kind of drag a word or fucking shorten a word, do whatever you need to do. It's written different, but I have probably a decent, like, you know, two shoebox size fucking plastic container of lyrics that were all written before I even put out my first rap album. And it was just something, you know, I liked writing. I, you know, like making little offensive riddles. And some of it initially was intended for metal. And then I just kept writing. I still fucking write all the time. I mean, not all my lyrics get used. I write a lot. I write a lot. And you know what I'm saying? That's one thing I've never really struggled with. And I mean, everybody hits a writer's block, but I feel I overcome those very easily. And 90% of the time, like if I hit writer's block, I just switch beats. I'll fucking go to a song that sounds completely different from that one, and writing will happen.
Right.
So on average, I'll write like, I don't know, fucking anywhere from 5 to 10 16s a week. And if I'm fucking like actually working on a project, then it might be double that or triple that, you know?
So how and when did you come up with the stage name Scum? Now I want to say, before you answer that, for this genre of hip hop, I think that you couldn't have a more perfect name, because an outsider looking in, I mean, that'll turn them off right away. You know, that it's such a negative feeling, but in a good way. You understand what I'm saying?
I do completely, because you know, an outsider, like, why even trick them into fucking, you know, calling myself fucking Young S or something and shit when they're gonna hear my song and they're gonna be like, oh, abortion clinic trash bag. Okay, not for me. So might as well just, you know what I'm saying, like, if you're gonna fucking have a horror fucking movie and shit, you might as well have a half naked bleeding bitch without a head on the cover. It lets them know. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody's confused. I thought this was a fucking romantic comedy. No, it wasn't. You know, it fluctuated. It was a combination of a nickname and shit, fucking like, it was Low Life Scum and it was Scumbag, and it just, you know what I'm saying, like, none of those, we had logos and shit, fucking, as a matter of fact, like the first album that we did, I think it was Low Life Scum, and then fucking the initial logo that we had was Scumbag, because it was fucking how did it go and shit, fucking some kind of a fucking weird like chaos symbol and shit, fucking with each line being a letter. And it just never, it was too much, so like Scum stuck. You know. And fucking, but no, it's my nice homies and shit fucking that initially fucking, you know, like Scumbag, Scum, you know, like, fuck it, you know, might as well just fucking glorify it and roll with it.
I also saw you refer to it as gore hop, which is another good term, because it isn't quite, you know, people use other, you know, if you're Detroit, they might call it acid rap or wicked shit. Outside of that, it's horrorcore. Did you feel that you weren't exactly like those? Because I do see a difference, even though you kind of fit in those same lanes.
Okay, there's two reasons why we coined that particular term. And I actually have been embracing horrorcore a whole lot more than I have over the last 5 or 6 years. Initially, part of it was to get the fuck away from that term, because horrorcore had such a fucking horrible reputation, and it was based on just, when you Googled horrorcore or whatever the fuck kind of search you did back then and shit, you would always end up with some booty ass fucking rapper that was recording on a fucking, you know what I'm saying, computer mic and shit, fucking talking about running through the fucking forest, fucking, you know, chasing a virgin and shit, about to sacrifice her to the devil. It was corny. And we wanted shock value, but we didn't really want the corny. And fucking, you know, and at that time, nobody really was accepting the term, you know what I'm saying? Like, Flatliners fucking were on their hiatus. ICP were refusing the fucking term all around and shit. Fucking Lynch Hung was refusing the fucking term and shit. Isham was refusing the term. So all that came up in those searches were those booty ass rappers most of the time. And so we're like, dude, we just need to fucking get the fuck away from that branding, because kind of what we were talking about, the cover. I don't mind the cover being graphic and gory and fucking letting them know right away the shit's gonna be fucked up, but I don't want fucking to put a stamp like cheesy, corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still believed that there was fucking hope for it. Now, over the last few years, there has been artists being more open to the term. And I also feel that that's the term that's stuck regardless. And whether we like it or not, all the acid raps and the wicked shits and the death raps and all of that somehow still get shoved in that into that horrorcore box.
Right.
So I'm just no longer fighting. I'm like, yep, you know, when there's a fucking contest and they're like hip hop, gangster rap, trap, drill, and there's a fucking little fucking, you know what I'm saying, paper fucking sign that says horrorcore, I just waltz
Right.
my Russian ass over there and I'm like, yep, I'm with that group. But at the same time, you know, the second reason for separating ourselves from the term horrorcore initially and the term gore hop being used is I've always fought against the traditional horrorcore sound for years. I would be quick to take a fucking club beat and put some fucked up lyrics over it. Take a fucking, you know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. It could be a dance beat, it could be a trap beat, it could be a techno beat. Our instrumentals were not traditionally slow, dark, and scary. I wanted the lyrics to be shocking and offensive, but I don't like that fucking slow and dark and scary sound. I really don't and shit. And I feel a lot of the times what people associated with horrorcore, it was kind of like almost in death metal you could fuck around, but in black metal and shit, like you have to be evil. You can't just, you know what I'm saying, be like, well, no, we're just trying to fucking, you know, we're here to get really drunk and break something and set it on fire. Well, then you're not black metal, you're thrash metal. Okay, cool. You know, so it was the same thing. So it was just things with how horrorcore was viewed, and the direction we were trying to go with it, that we were trying to separate our personal brand, which is important, you know what I'm saying? Brand your own shit. Now, I still fucking, you know what I'm saying, represent gore hop, but at the same time, I'm a lot more open to, you know, people are like, well, it's horrorcore. I'm like, cool, it's a subgenre of horrorcore, but yes, it is horrorcore. Horrorcores became, that's the word that stuck. That's ultimately like, if, you know what I'm saying, Flatliners fucking claim to fame and shit forever, and they deserve it. Is everybody came up with their own term for this dark ass music and shit, and the one that they used stuck, and fucking that's what everybody fucking labels us now.
So also, another thing I liked, and at least it used to be this way, because I've been hearing about you for decades and been following you here and there. And when I said underground legend, I mean on the scene. I mean, I'm from Wisconsin, Milwaukee originally, and I mean, we even know your name there. So whatever you're doing right, no doubt.
I appreciate it, brother. I mean, yeah, you know, it's consistency. At first, motherfuckers was taking this shit as a joke, like they'll get burned out and shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, fucking, I fought the fucking term juggalo rapper for fucking years and shit. I'm like, you know what I'm saying, hate that fucking term and shit.
Right.
Nothing but love for the juggalos and shit. You know what I'm saying? Was one myself, fucking, you know what I'm saying, getting into the scene and shit. But at the same time, when you get that stamp, then motherfuckers, instead of expecting the fucking, you know what I'm saying, the chainsaw and chasing that version through the woods, they expect whoop whoops and fucking Fago flying and shit. Right. And I've never said a fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, dog, I've never said whoop whoop in one fucking song, you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect the fuck out of what they built and shit. I respect the fuck out of the culture and shit, but I'm not going to bite that shit. We're trying to build our own thing.
Right. But what I was getting at was calling your fans scum fucks. That was a great term, you know.
No, you know, and it's funny because one of the first fucking scum fuck items that we pressed years ago and shit was a bunch of fucking scum fuck condoms, and there were these cheaply fucking made fucking Chinese multicolored condoms and shit. And these assholes up to the day fucking bring it up, be like, oh yeah, I probably made this baby and shit with one of your condoms. I'm like, man, it was supposed to be a novelty item, not something for y'all to be fucking behind the venues with. Like, we never said that they were good condoms, they were cheap.
Right.
You know?
So being bilingual, is it harder to rap in Russian than in English?
No, rapping wise, it's about the same, man. You write the lyrics and you know what I'm saying, you rap them. It takes me longer to write in Russian because I'm so used to writing rhymes in English. I do this shit full time for a living. So between my releases, all the side projects, and the numerous features that I do, I have like a rhyme dictionary in my head already. So with Russian, I don't write in it as often, but I have a bigger vocabulary in Russian. So if I really want to get descriptive on something and shit, it'll take me longer to write that same verse, but I could really fucking get into it and shit because I know more Russian words, obviously.
Interesting. And this is a question I asked, I've Mastermind's been on the show, Dice has been on the show, and I asked people in that type of genre, have you ever recorded and released, not talk about something that never got released, but have you ever released something where you did a song or a line that you later regretted doing?
Yes, absolutely. But most of it and shit was not because I regretted, like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what you're talking about and shit. Like, you said Mastermind and Dice, and instantly fucking, what was that Mastermind EP
Bitches
called?
Hate Me. Yep, that's,
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like, I
brought that up to
understand that
Dice. I brought that
Dice
up to
said some
Dice.
shit on that.
He said
Well,
that's the one thing he regretted. He goes, I went too far. I'm like, yeah, you kind of went too far.
kind of did. Kind of did. I mean, it was a good EP, but yeah, you kind of did. You know, fortunately, our extremely negative demos and shit, like, that shit never fucking got no play. I would say, honestly, probably my first album and shit, Lyrical Snuff, which was 2002, is when that shit hit the stores. And it's not just that album and shit. I've evolved as a person a lot. You know what I'm saying? I have kids, I have grandkids. So I don't have the same mentality as I did when I was 20 years old. My early albums have a shit ton of gay bashing. And fucking, you know what I'm saying? Do I regret it? Yes, because, you know what I'm saying, I don't feel that way no more and shit, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, am I gonna go and fucking try to hide it or pull those albums and edit them? Or no, I'm not, because ultimately it's out there and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was and shit. Like, I believe that fucking growing up and maturing doesn't come from not fucking up, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if fucking, if the fans that I have, you know what I'm saying, that are, you know what I'm saying, maybe, you know what I'm saying, gay or lesbian or something, and get offended by the fact that I have some fucking horrible fucking lyrics on my old albums.
Sure.
But they know me now, and they know that's not how I talk now and shit. Like, if they're gonna hold that shit against me, then fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, all I can do is change moving forward. And moving forward, I have not in quite a few albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was a personal choice. It wasn't because fucking, you know, somebody was trying to cancel me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the beauty of the subgenre I'm in and shit, the kind of foul shit I talk, either you're cool with me and shit, or you're not. Like, you can't cancel fucking, you know what I'm saying, music that's fucking, be like, oh, well, what's your most fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, what song comes to mind when you fucking think of a Scum song? They're like, oh, cut her from the pussy hole up to her throat. I'm like, you know what I'm saying, like, what do you expect from me? You know, motherfucker's name is Scum.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
no false advertising.
but I would say that would probably be the only thing that other than that, I never put political views and shit in songs. I am pretty anti-religious, but that hasn't changed. I've never fucking dropped an N-bomb in a song and shit in my life. Never will, you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, probably the gay bashing in my early music, you know?
Yeah, I understand that, because I was actually not that long ago listening to something from my group in the 90s, and I noticed, like, it was a lot of gay stuff too, and it's like, shit, that doesn't age well.
That was the era, but, you know, I explained that shit, and my people understand it. Horrorcore is a very secluded circle of outcasts, and basically, we're not trying to shit on the people in our circle. We love the motherfuckers in our circle. Motherfuckers outside of our circle, fuck yeah, we're like, yo, you know what I'm saying, rich people can eat a dick, fucking, you know what I'm saying, fucking politicians can eat a dick, pigs can eat a dick, fucking religious people can eat a dick. But the second somebody gets welcomed into the scene, and I think that's alwaalways been the transition, like, if I didn't end up having a solid following and shit that was, you know, gay, lesbian, and non-binary, whatever it was, and I realized, I'm like, yo, I can't be dissing my own fans. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, the second motherfuckers make it into the bubble, you got to exclude them from the bashing. everybody on the outside can still get it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's no love there. So that's really been the only transition. So I don't feel that necessarily we were using those types of lyrics because we hated gay people. We just were like, yo, they don't fuck with us, so fuck them. You know what I'm saying? And that's hip hop in general. You listen to it. I don't feel it's any different than when Ice Cube fucking put out Predator and shit. Fucking, it was all about killing a cracker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But once Ice Cube realized that maybe 70% of his current fan base is white,
At least, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It kind of changed. And there's, you know what I'm saying? That all of a sudden Cracker wasn't getting hit with a bat no more. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you adopt, it's respect. Like you want your fans to respect you, have to respect your fans. So once you accept somebody as your fan, can't fucking diss on them. That's why I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't discriminate. Like, yeah, we're very sexist in our music, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, just because we talk about, you know, cutting a bitch up, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Dudes get their balls cut off in the songs and shit. Babies get put in blenders. We don't discriminate. Everybody gets it.
Well,
Everybody does.
anyone.
Right. You know what I'm saying? As long as you keep it equal opportunity hate, it's cool.
Right. So features, not only have you done a lot of features, you've had a lot of artists on your albums. Who are the one or two favorite people that you've gotten to do a track with?
Let's see. The ones that fucking, I mean, I'll exclude my own camp because I love working with my artists and shit. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I absolutely love working with them and shit. There's a reason why we signed them in the first place. So obviously fuck with them. Outside of the fucking camp and shit, like the features that really I was like, oh shit, like the joint that I did with Isham and Q Strange, both were fucking major influences on my early fucking writing and, you know what I'm saying, coming into this scene. So I was just like, yes, I made it, even if nobody likes the fucking song. You know what I'm saying? I got these two, and they never done a song together before, so it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was something that I really enjoyed. That was Devil off of Snuff HD. First fucking joint I ever did with Insane Poetry, way before he was on LSP and shit, fucking when we did Generation X, which was, I think, 7, maybe. And that shit meant a lot because I thought fucking Faith and Chaos was one of the best fucking records in this fucking scene and shit. So I absolutely fucking, it meant a lot to me to fucking have that done. The joint with Twisted meant a lot to me because fucking, I feel Twisted, like, okay, I will always credit ICP for creating the Juggalo culture, and I'm forever thankful to them for it because a big part of my fan base comes from that culture. But I feel that when it came to horrorcore, ICP always had a humorous side to their music. And we were like, nah, this ain't no joke and shit. Fucking, you know, smear the baby's blood on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wanted to shock, not necessarily fucking. I have a lot more humor in my music now. If anything, I can relate to old ICP music more now than I did back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel there was a transitional point when horrorcore for a minute became more accepted. Like, Juggalo culture was huge and shit. You remember fucking the era? I mean, ICP Twisted shows, I mean, shit, them fucking things would have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people at the show. You remember that? So in the golden era and shit, when Twisted released Wicked, and Wicked was a horrorcore album. You know what I'm saying? It was dark. It was fucking dark. And all of a sudden, because they were Twisted and, you know what I'm saying, like, fucking the fans were like, oh, it's cool. And all of a sudden, like, a lot of that other shit that they were like, this is just a little too fucking negative and too dark. Like, it opened motherfuckers' minds to this type of fucking negative and dark content in the psychopathic world, I feel. So that shit, you know what I'm saying, doing a joint with them was really important to me. I love working with cast like Ouija and shit because fucking, you know what I'm saying, it's not descending back and forth, you know what I'm saying? We usually, every track I've done with him, we've done together on the spot, you know, bouncing fucking back and forth and writing it and shit and fucking, and so a whole different energy than with the tracks that I've mentioned previously and shit, because every song I've done, I think done like 4 or 5 songs with Ouija, and it was always together. So that part was fucking awesome and shit because I think it brings out the best in the artist. you know, on the spot creativity. A lot of songs that I've done. I mean, that first fucking when I did the joint with KGP, Sick Motherfuckers and shit, years and years and years ago and shit, that meant a lot to me because KGP was that was the forum era. There was no fucking social medias back then and shit. So it was like either you was down with horrorcore.com or you was down with Kill Music. Well, horrorcore.com hated my fucking guts. So, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is.
Right.
But Kill Music, they loved me. You know what I'm saying? KGP owned Kill Music. So, you know, when fucking he did that joint with me, it was like fucking a cosign from man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they're really fucking with me and shit. So a lot of features, a lot of them have different stories, you know, how they were done, where they were done, what you know.
Right.
I've done probably 300-400 features for other artists and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really appreciate, honestly, when I think following the theme is the biggest thing to me. Like, I've gotten verses back from artists I truly fucking respect. And I'm like, well, it's a cool 16. It really has nothing to do with what I was envisioning.
Mm-hmm.
But when the artist, like, you get the joint and it fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, he stuck to the theme. He fucking referenced some shit in your verse. He fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, really, you're like, man, this motherfucker really took his time and shit and did what I asked him and shit. That's dope. So, yeah, just certain ones are more appreciated than others.
Shows. I'm sure you've done probably thousands of shows at this point in your career. What are some crazy show memories?
Oh, there's so fucking many. Give me a more specific, like, crazy side of it. I mean, like, there's been shows where I've been fucking badly injured at. There's been shows where I've been fucking so fucked up on, you know what I'm saying, whatever and shit, to where fucking I performed on my back because I couldn't get up. There's been shows where fucking, but I still kept rapping, which is important. There's been shows where I've been dropped fucking crowd surfing and shit and fucking, you know, it injured my neck. Still finished the set, but like ain't been right since. Those shows that are more memorable because of, you know what I'm saying, like car wrecks on the way from or to, shows we've been shot at. Fucking, like, there's just too many fucking memories, man. Like, I'll give you a little fucking glance in the fucking office and shit. So I've done 22 or 23 tours and shit, and God knows how many fucking one-offs. But every fucking time we hit a city that we haven't fucking hit before, I get a dot on this old ass map behind me and shit. Now there's certain tours, well, I'll do a 30-day tour and I'll get one fucking dot because the other cities I've played sometime in the past. Sure. So now every one of those dots like means extra to me. I'm like, oh shit, 3 new dots. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the more fucking red that fucking old map gets, you know what I'm saying, the more I feel about it. But there's one day I'm gonna fucking write a book and shit. I'm in a weird position, you know what I'm saying? I'm a father and a grandfather, and I have all girls. So I don't know if I want to release this particular book, at least while I'm alive. I might write it and just be like, you know what I'm saying, fucking put it with my will and fucking, you know what I'm saying, my safety deposit box with a fucking little sticky note, fucking sorry and shit with a little heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they can opt to release it once I'm gone and shit, fucking, or not, because there's been a lot of dumb shit. It's been a rough but fun life and shit, like a lot of crazy fucking situations. You know, memorable. Okay, I mentioned Q Strange earlier and shit, meeting fucking D-Rock, his hype man, fucking for the first time and shit, which is, you know what I'm saying, one of the craziest but authentically crazy fucking cats in this scene and shit. Still got mad love for the dude and shit. Fucking every time we see him on the East Coast, it's a great time. But it was a Dark Lotus show, fucking Hatchet Attacks in Denver, and it was Q Strange, Chop Shop, and us playing that show. And that show was insane because it was so beyond sold out. Lotus very rarely played in Denver, and you had all these juggalos from all over that came to Hatchet Attacks. Well, this venue only held 1,200 people, so all these fucking hundreds of people that couldn't get in and shit, and it was just fucking like stressful because you couldn't move around in there and fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, we're like, man, this is fucking dope, this is big time. And then the next day was Hatchet Attacks, and we got fucked up. And I got into this big ass fucking fight over something that my homie said to somebody and shit, got my nose broken. And then the next day I had to be in Texas and perform with Isham, 2 shiners and a broken nose, but I still went because I'm determined. just different stories. I mean, like the first time we did a Twisted tour and shit, fucking, I had a 2-day notice invite and shit. It was, we ended up taking, what was it, fucking psych ward druggies fucking spot or something. But whatever happened and shit, like we got the call, we're like, hey, you want to be on this tour and shit? And we're like, yeah, you know, fucking,
Right.
they're like, well, you have to be in Seattle in 2 days. Well, Seattle is like a 24-hour drive. So we're like, okay, I guess we have one day and we're going on tour. All right, let's do this. A lot of spontaneous shit, man. A lot of fucking fun stories. Sometimes the show itself might have sucked ass. I mean, I remember driving to fucking Arkansas to play fucking at some legendary underground venue. It was one of Bloodshot's early album releases. It was like 20 motherfuckers there, and we drove for all this fucking time and shit, fucking, you know, all sorts of. But the road trip was crazy, and it was mad fun getting there, mad fun partying there and shit. To where like, yeah, the show sucked ass, but it was still fun. And then there was shows that we've done where we're like, well, there was 1,000 people here, and we sold the shit ton of merch. Man, this crowd was lame as fuck. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, which is also kind of interesting, like seeing. There's been, I'm not going to throw any city under the bus because then motherfuckers are going to probably fucking next time I play there boycott my fucking performance. But I've played some really large shows and shit, especially like, you know, being fucking support for somebody or fucking part of a festival where you're performing and these motherfuckers are not participating. Like the hands are not in the air. They're not moshing. They're not, the heads are not bobbing. And you're like, man, these motherfuckers suck. And I bet you they think we suck. And then we get done performing and shit, and these motherfuckers are all like, they're great set, and they're lining up for the merch and they're buying shit. And you're like, well, why didn't y'all like at least in between the songs or something, like let a motherfucker know that you like us? So yeah, just all sorts of fucking crazy memories from the road, bro. I could probably fucking tell road stories and shit after a few
I'm
drinks,
sure.
like a week.
You could write a book just on the road stories.
And road stories, so some of them were fun, some of them were fucking horrible, but we survived, and that's what fucking matters.
Right. So now I got a couple of just basic hip hop questions.
Okay.
If you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, just his or her catalog, who would that be?
Ooh, fuck. That's a tough one. I would have to be, because I like a lot of metal and I like a lot of rap. It'd be a really hard one because they're very mood oriented musics for me. You know, so I guess I will answer that question, and it would have to be when I'm put at that choice and shit as the boat is sinking and I'm packing my fucking one artist CD collection into the fucking boat and shit and pushing Cripple out the boat to make room for it. If it was metal, it would probably have to be Slayer. And if it was rap, might have to be Esham, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Vinny Paz. You know, fucking, because you said one artist, but you didn't say one album, it would automatically eliminate. That's what I'm saying. It would automatically eliminate certain artists that had awesome albums. Like Lynch Hung has some awesome albums. Love me some Brother Lynch Hung, but not enough to carry me for the rest of my life. If fucking, like, I would need a motherfucker with at least a fucking 20 album fucking catalog that I like. So I would say for rap, it would be like between Vinny Paz, fucking, and Brother Lynch Hung. I mean, Vinny, I'm sorry. Yep.
So I'm gonna give you some choices, some this or that, and you tell me what you pick is the better option.
This, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this.
So we're starting with albums, and we're starting with Esham. Kill the Fetus or Closed Casket?
Closed Casket. It's the first album that I bought, and I fucking absolutely love it front to back. So
it still holds up.
A good album, but
they both hold up to me.
You know, that's just something that fucking Closed Casket is my shit.
How about Tech Nine, Angelic or Absolute Power?
Angelic.
This is one I ask everyone. Dr. Dre's The Chronic or Snoop Dogg Doggy Style?
The Chronic. Not a huge Snoop fan.
No,
really, like, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, you know, Deep Cover was fucking dope and shit. Fucking, of
Love that
course,
beat. Love that beat.
that shit was awesome. And Snoop
Mhm.
has some fucking cool songs, but you know, you respect him as a fucking huge influence on the hip hop culture. But Dre's shit fucking banged, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
fucking, yeah, yeah. I will take the Chronic.
ICP, Riddlebox or Malenko?
Malenko. Riddlebox is darker, and I actually really like Riddlebox. They're very close, but I think Malenko was the true peak of like that era's sound. Like if you were to define, you know, kind of like, okay, fucking, you know what I'm saying? You have one album that you can describe a band by, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can only play them examples from one album. I would say it would have to be Great Malenko.
The Ghetto Boys or NWA?
Ooh. I'm a huge Ice Cube fan, and Ghetto Boys were way more horrorcore though. I would still, and Scarface is a beast too. Man, it's fucking it's tough because if we go, fuck, I guess as a fucking group, I would have to go Ghetto Boys just because they fucking, you know what I'm saying, that they were more horrorcore. But as far as individual members, you know what I'm saying, I'll take Ice Cube over anybody in Ghetto Boys just because I'm a huge fucking fan.
Then I think I know your answer for the next one. I had Ice Cube versus Ice-T.
That's such a tough one too, because I'm a huge Body Count fan. But I'll have to go with Ice Cube and shit. That dude got that commanding beast of a fucking voice. Nothing but respect for Ice-T. Absolutely nothing and shit. Like fucking, you know what I'm saying, complete legend and shit. But Ice Cube.
One more of these. Dayton Family or Project Born?
Dayton Family. And I got same thing. Nothing fucking personal. I actually, okay, on the personal level, I got a lot more love and close fucking connection to Project Born.
They're mad cool. They're mad cool in real life. Yeah.
Absolutely and shit. But Dayton Family had a couple of albums that we were bumping the fuck out of and shit when I was first getting like hard into fucking rap. And those albums were just fucking like, if you took those out of the equation, I might not be fucking doing what I do today. Where Project Born are my homies, but none of their albums influenced me in a way that that era Dayton Family shit did. And we're talking old Dayton Family.
Right. Yeah,
if
big
anything,
shout
I'll
out
put
to,
out a funny fact and shit. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Dayton Family fucking, I love their old music. I really like, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to do some music together and shit. We're not like that close and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking, it would be like, hey, we're playing a show together. You know what I'm saying? It would be like, what's up, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I can't take away the influence they had on me as a fucking rap listener.
All right. Now the last ones I'm going to do, I'm just going to name an artist and tell me the first thing you think of when you hear their name.
Okay.
Brother Lynchon.
Ribbed Up Cannibal.
Gangsta Nip.
Sticking babies with embalming fluid.
Fellow Denver artist Jade the Nightmare.
Fucking crazy fucking little demon and shit that got let out of her box. And I'm not saying that as a diss and shit.
No, not at all.
That girl got some fucking crazy energy and shit and fucking, you know what I'm saying? You're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You don't expect it. Kind of, you know what I'm saying, the same way I feel about Smalls one and shit. A lot of the times, like, you don't expect this much fucking aggression and negativity to come out of this little thing.
Right.
So yeah, shout out to Jade the Nightmare and shit fucking, but yeah, demon out the box. What else do we have?
Onyx.
Bust them guns.
Mastermind.
We'll say Slam too.
Slam.
Mastermind. Masterpiece, y'all. And fucking, you know what I'm saying? When I say masterpiece, y'all, there's a story behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fucking us almost dying on that tour with Mastermind while that was being screamed.
Another mad cool person in real life.
Absolutely. Love Mastermind. The shit fucking, you know, nothing but respect for him.
How about the Gravediggers?
Grave diggers and shit, fucking suicide hotline,
1-800-SUICIDE, yeah.
fucking you know, grave diggers. I love their fucking early shit. If anything, I fucking, you know what I'm saying, the one thing I can fucking hold against Wu-Tang up to this day is I was like, motherfucker left them. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like, you know, me as a fucking, you know, full-time musician and running a business, I was like, well, of course he did. Fucking, you know, he went to this platinum fucking status and shit. But I'm like, but he could have done both. You know what I'm saying? So yes.
Tech Nine.
Tech Nine. Oh, I will say Carrie Ballou, and it's just because you said something that associates with the artist. Um, man, like Tech, I respect tremendously and shit. He is not only fucking earned everything he's accomplished, but I also believe that he gives cats like myself that fucking been grinding for years and years and years and shit, fucking like, you know what I'm saying, something to look forward to. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's not like if you didn't blow up by fucking 25, it ain't gonna happen. But at the same time, I'm a fan of his old music and shit. I don't really listen to Strange ever since fucking like Lynch left or whatever happened between them and Lynch. Like that was the last thing connecting me to Strange music and shit. Like I said, I respect the man tremendously and shit. I respect the powerhouse they built. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't like party rap.
How about ICP?
I still respect fucking because, like I said, as long as fucking, you know what I'm saying, I had some of the best times and gatherings in my fucking life and shit. You know, politics aside and fucking the weird tensions that fucking everybody always tries to drag us into and shit, which I try to fucking stay out of because it's not my fucking beef by any means. Anybody in this scene that's been in it long enough can't say that they haven't benefited from the Juggalo culture. And I'd be a fucking lying sack of shit not to fucking give him respect for it.
How about Prozac?
Prozac, I like Bedlam, man. I like Bedlam and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the abduct, murder, kill, rape shit, fucking that shit was hard. You know, same thing. I'm very happy for Prozac and shit with what he's doing fucking in life and you know, the paranormal stuff. Not my cup of tea. I don't believe in ghosts. And you know, fucking, but at the same time, I'm happy for him. I'm happy to see a man that came from fucking horrorcore and shit doing something he enjoys and making money doing it and shit. Fucking, I'm not a hater, man. I mean, everybody has some hater in them and shit, but like just because I don't fuck with something that somebody is doing currently, and I'm like, I like their old shit. Well, that's cool. I'm gonna keep listening to their old shit, but if this makes them happy and shit, it's their freedom. Isham put out albums that I personally fucking did not feel. And I've told him that before, and it took me having 22 fucking albums out to realize that you get bored sometimes, and you earn that right to experiment. And if you have a catalog fucking that, you know what I'm saying, is, you know, past 20 records, you can kind of fucking do whatever the fuck you want and shit. And like, and if we don't like it, we can listen to their old albums.
Yeah, Isham definitely is not afraid to experiment.
No, and I respect the fuck out of it. Not always my cup of tea either. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he has enough of a catalog that is my cup of tea. And it's not, you know what I'm saying, like, there's never been a consistently bad streak with him to where I'm like, I didn't like the last 8 albums. Never. There's been a couple of albums in a row that I didn't like, and then he'll come out with something and I'm like, yes, he's back. You know what I'm saying? So no, I will always support Isham and shit and what he does, and you know what I'm saying, like fucking he is one of big influences. Not even necessarily writing style wise, because I don't feel we sound anything alike and shit, but just the grind, the consistency and the shit, fucking, you know what I'm saying, going against the grain, fucking not but love for Isham.
And lastly, I recently had recently as in 6 months ago, but had this debate with a friend of mine about the next artist I'm going to say, and he compared him to you, and I had the debate that on the outside you might seem like that's the same thing, but a completely different artist. And so I'm interested to see what you say. Okay. Necro.
You know, okay, I've had very brief interactions with Necro and never, you know what I'm saying, like felt a vibe like, oh man, I'd love to kick it with that dude.
Mhm.
Not really. And I'm not really a fan of his raps, but I respect his hustle. I absolutely respect the imagery. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he's branded his shit. It's the same thing. Like, not something doesn't have to be my cup of tea, but I feel he's benefited dark music. I like Mr. Hyde a lot. You know, fucking, he's had artists on his label and shit, fucking, which I think are fucking amazing. You know, like
Ill
Sean
Bill.
Strange is not on his label anymore, but I
Mhm.
fucking love me some Sean Strange. So, like I said, I respect his grind. I'm just not a fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't listen to Necro's music that much. There's a couple of songs that I like.
Mhm.
He makes really good beats. He's a marketing genius, and I'll just leave it at that. Just, it definitely wouldn't be in my boat as far as like, you know, hey, and if you had to listen to Necro for the rest of your career, I'll probably try to take like some band instead or something. Just
You have any pluggables to plug? What you got coming out? Where can people get at you?
yeah, actually, okay, so I got 4 fucking albums coming out this year, that are all completed. I'll plug 3 of them because one is going to be a surprise project and shit. Is going to be some wig split and shit for LSP fans. But we do have a fucking Deadly Drug Volume 2 coming out with Triple MFD and shit, the Overdose Edition, brand new album and shit. Since we didn't get to tour the initial Deadly Drug album, we are going to tour this one and kind of tour them together as part, you know, a 2-volume thing. I have the 3rd installment of the Dying World Chronicles and shit, Black Souls, that's dropping next month. So that's absolutely, and you know, I put a lot of fucking work into that because it's the final volume of the trilogy and shit, and I had time to do it. I probably recorded 3 albums to cut it down to that one, so it's gonna be some fucking super dark shit, fucking. So if people fuck with my shit, like really, you should enjoy that one. I got a standalone album coming before I get into another series of albums and shit that I've been fucking working on behind the scenes. So a lot of music. LSP artists got some fucking, you know what I'm saying, Class is dropping an album this month. Fucking Donnie Menace is about to drop a fucking album and shit. Fucking Cody Benson is about to drop another album. Cult Activity is working on an album and shit. Like Insane Poetry is in the studio right now working on another EP. So just you know, Beast Mode Warriors is about to drop another EP. So everybody is fucking grinding. There's just too many things to plug. Just follow our socials and shit. Scum LSP fucking on Instagram and Facebook, gorehop.com for releases and merch and shit. And just keep an eye on the movement, man. Like we're bringing it. Darby O'Trill and Devereaux are dropping another one. There's new sounds of LSP, classic sounds of LSP. There's something for everybody if you like violent music.
Right.
You know, if they're looking for like something positive and, you know what I'm saying, like non-offensive, then probably not us. But
right.
Other than that, there's something for everybody. And I always ask of people, if you don't fuck with me or my music, please, you're absolutely welcome to listen to LSP. We want you to check out our other artists. Right. This movement is way above me. So, you know what I'm saying? When we're like, yo, check out some, you know what I'm saying, this new LSP artist. And they're like, nah, Scum sounds like fucking, you know what I'm saying, Cookie Monster. The fuck does that have? Don't listen to me then. But check out my other artists if you don't like me, and you might find somebody you like.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you having me on your show, man. Thank you. Honestly, without everybody doing what they do, yourself included, man, be it podcasts, be it online radios, be it promotions, like this underground, there's not enough money in it. It would not survive without people who are passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? Who are doing it because they love this shit, not because fucking, you know, they got paid by the hour. We're all below minimum wage on that.
Absolutely way below minimum wage.
So, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for doing what you do, man.
Keep doing your thing too, and I'll keep an eye out for all those new projects.
I appreciate you, brother. Much love.
Yeah, peace.
Later.
Gotta keep it bloody, like an abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. gonna keep it bloody, like an abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. You gotta whiz off, just like a pillow till you see me. Hang your body on the willow, draping the guts from off the tree. Snip your nuts with a wire cut, it's not as bumping as a copy. Dripping tears as your ears fed to your kids so they don't starve. Up in this bitch just like a nun that's getting fisted, with a rubber glove that's dipped in grain of future's grim. When I shot the blade in her vagina and I twisted behind a dumpster full of dead babies to the brim. And I gotta see what a body look like on the inside, when I make it bleak and a fake that need I must fulfill. My curiosity that's sick and fucking morbid. I be the beast that's from the east with a lust to kill. Fuck that bitch and kill her parents and the mans too. They can each get skinned alive with a decorate. As I stitch their skills together, making them curtains like Ed Gein. It's a gory scene and I'm full of hate. I gotta keep it bloody, like an abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. I'm gonna keep it bloody, like an abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. Covered in your blood just like a used discarded tampon. On that murder shit just like Northwest on heroin. So you best not test me, leave you gaping like a strap on. When you hear me scraping at your door, better let me in. There is no escaping like my name is Michael Myers. Pliers in my hand finna end your reproductive days. Don't discriminate, I hate all humans with the passion. Slashing, smashing faces, killing straights as much as gays. In ways that label inhumane, I stays in Denver. This is where it started, this is where it has to end. Tourists terrify when they find the bodies I dismember, staring at my bloody work of art with a blunt in hand. So understand that one to walk away from anything they've given half their life to right or wrong. Let's not pretend, I'll lend it, let's not play dumb. Either you'll be riding in my trunk or you ride along. I gotta keep it bloody, like an abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. I'm gonna keep it bloody, like an abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic trash bag. Abortion clinic